So here you go. This is Emily C., my new bestie.
I hate the idea that someone out there hates me. I even hate thinking that Al-Qaeda hates me. I think if they got to know me, they wouldn't hate me.
This stole the show. Emily C. was phenomenal.
There's something you need to know.
What?
You're doing great.
Look at my baby. Here she is. Emily. 10 out of 10. Huge fan.
I see Emily C says 123. I trust her. She's really good.
Listen, Turtle, you gotta watch your language. I'm already live. So you need to follow the FCC guidelines.
He destroyed, left nothing in her path. It was so good.
Hi, everybody. Can you hear me? I never trust the microphone anymore. I feel like you can hear me, but honestly, who knows at this point? Thank you all for being here again. 2 days in a row. I've never done 2 days in a row and by myself. Like, this is crazy. Maybe I'm just going to be completely like a real YouTuber in my 40s. I'm Emily C. You might know me as Judge Frenier. Oh, I forgot I did that black background. That's cool. I looked up how to say her name. It's like Judge Frenier. It's like cuter than we've been saying it. It's like Frenier. 88 Connor, the superstar of the Norfolk County District Attorney's Office, or Larry Tipton. But today I'm just me. And today is, somebody just said it, my last night in my 30s. Space Dudette said, tonight she's going to party her last night at 39. You guys are my party. And I genuinely, really, truly appreciate this. Like, I have a couple things I want to say first. First, I need to do sea creatures because I forgot last night and I made new sea creatures and I spent all this time doing it. And then I was like, oh my God, I didn't even show it. Okay. So if you feel comfortable sharing, we have new sea creatures. Mr. Kyle Sharkey is like one of the most wholesome, just like sweetest, genuine people on Twitter in a world where everybody is a little bit unhinged. And one day I said to him, oh, Kyle, like, your last name is Sharky, like you were like made to be a sea creature. And he was like, yeah, why do you think I keep asking for the shark to not be the sad one? And I was like, oh. So now the shark is powerful for Kyle Sharkey. I added a mermaid for Samantha Beningo. And what else did I add? This little jealous guy. It just looked so cute. I love the little overwhelmed, what is that called? A hermit crab. And I told you guys last night about how I was forced to change the octopus. So now Corey's profile picture with the confused octopus with the bows is like a collector's item because it doesn't exist anymore. But you guys all told me, like, actually, Emily, like, octopuses are really smart. So now the octopus is curious. And I like hearing how you guys are feeling. And if you feel comfortable also sharing why, like, obviously not if it's like, you know, not something you want to share, but I like hearing like what's going on in people's lives. And that reminds me, I wanted to make sure I told you guys, like, I feel like I'm getting better at not getting distracted by the chat. Oh, also I learned I don't have to be this tiny in the corner. Hold on. Well, that's too big. Is there a way to make me like medium? Oh, that's just little. Okay, never mind. I wanted to make sure I told you guys I'm getting better at not getting like squirrel and just getting distracted by what's happening in the chat, but then also I'm kind of like missing things that I want to see. I always go back and read every single chat that you guys say during the show, and like there's so many times that I see things that I'm like, oh, damn, I should have talked about that. So if I miss your chat and it's like something that, if it's like clear that I missed it, like I'm not going back and like looking at it and it's something that like really contributes to the chat, I'm like, would not be upset if you posted it again. I know sometimes that's like awkward. Like that's happened to me, like on Melanie's show, I'll like type something and then she doesn't see it. And I'm like, should I say it again? I don't like want to be a weirdo. I would love if you said it again, because that, like, there were so many things I was looking at last night that I was like, oh, I wish I had responded to that. But I thought of that because there were chats already that I wanted to respond to before the show even started. So let me go back up here. Okay, Cuzco Wright said, I wonder if Emily is still enjoying her time in a hotel room. I am. In an undisclosed location. I am. And I like cannot recommend this enough. KY Heather and I were talking about this earlier today. There's like something weird that happens when you're like surrounded by chaos all the time. And you're like, all I want is like 5 minutes of peace and quiet. And then you get your 5 minutes of peace and quiet and you're like, I miss the chaos. And it's like, can't we just be happy in the moment? I feel like today I went over that hump. I had that moment. I got like really in my feels for a second. I was like, I went out for a walk and I saw like families like gallivanting around with their kids. And I was like, oh, I miss Carter. And I like, he would love this elevator. And then I was like, no, like this is my time. And I'm going to like make it my time and I'm going to appreciate my time. And I already feel like a different person than when I got here yesterday. So thank you guys for being here with me. Sorry, I don't know what's happening. I haven't also said a single word today. So this is like literally the first time I've talked. Actually, that's not true. I just made a video about Nicholas Guarino. Okay, there was some other ones I wanted to respond to. 711 J Ferris said, Emily, do you ever run into the McAlberts in Canton? No, I haven't, but I'm very bad at like facial recognition. Like if somebody's not wearing like the same outfit that I know them in and like have their hair exactly the same and like acting the same as I kind of like expect them to, a lot of times I like won't recognize somebody. So it's possible that I've like been in line with somebody at the grocery store or whatever and just never noticed it. Also, that might have just given away where I am, but this hotel is very cute because they give you water bottles and then they have like a little bubbler that you can fill your water bottle up in instead of having to waste water bottles or just have you like dehydrate to death like most hotels do. So I really appreciate that. This was another one I saw that I really wanted to respond to. Ben Burnett said, would you consider doing a show where you read viewers' theories about how John O'Keefe was unalived? Maybe pick like the top 5 entries and read them. I love this idea for so many reasons. Like number one, I just love the idea of like getting you guys involved in this, and maybe not that I read them, but maybe like some of you come on and tell your theories. But also I've kind of moved away from trying to come up with a theory because, well, for a lot of reasons. I feel like there's been so many times that I'm like so sure like, oh, this is what happened. And then I learned something new and then I don't think that anymore. And now I'm kind of like, I don't want to be committed to like a theory, kind of like how Loophole is. And then you're like so tunnel vision, you turn into Loophole. And so instead, I like just hearing everybody's theories. I mean, like I have some things that I know didn't happen, like John did not get hit by a car. But I can't say for sure at this point, like garage or basement, like why did Jen make all those weird like butt dials? Like I don't know the reason behind everything. And I just think part of that is because the Mass State Police did such a shady investigation. I don't even want to call it a bad, I feel like a bad investigation is giving them too much credit. I think that it was a intentionally shady investigation where they're leaving things out on purpose. And so I'm not like committed to a theory anymore, but I love the idea of hearing your guys just because it's like eye-opening to hear kind of like where everybody's heads are at. There was another chat I saw before the show started that I wanted to make sure I responded to. Or not. Yes. Before we get started, prayers for everyone at Brown University. I just saw the news about that, and is it like glitchy for you guys too? It looks like glitchy right now. That's just praying for everybody right now is all I'm going to say about that, because otherwise I'm going to go on a unhinged rant about how I feel about access to firearms, and I'm sure that a lot of you are not going to love that, but it's just how I feel. Oh, Child Channel is a proud penguin. I love that. Okay. Now I did the chat. I'm proud of myself. Okay, good. It's not glitching. I don't know why it like looked glitchy, like I was glitching for myself, but Leslie said the only people who truly know what happened that night are in the family chat and cuddly but dangerous Higgy Bear. Okay. So here's where my head is at right now about this show tonight. Oh wait, no, also I had two other things I wanted to tell you. Number one, before I just started this, my best friend just texted me and was like, how are you doing? I think everybody was like a little worried about me being like, I'm going off the grid, bye. And everybody's like, it's your 40th birthday. Like, why don't you want to celebrate? And I was like, see ya. So she just texted and was like, are you okay? And it reminded me that I need to tell you. So we get dinner once a month, and at our last dinner, so a little while ago, this whole like world is hard to tell people about that are not in this world. I don't know if you guys feel like that too. Like even before I had like a YouTube channel, just like following the Karen Reid trial was like a lot to try to like get somebody else who's like not in it to like understand what's going on. So we had dinner the other night and I was telling her a little bit about YouTube, and she was like, oh, she goes, you're like Beyonce. Do you have like a beehive like Beyonce? And I was like, okay, like actually kind of. And she was like, do they have a name? And I was like, the sea creatures. And I could not stop laughing, telling her that it was so anyway, so she just texted me and said, like, are you okay? Like, is everything okay? And I was like, I'm great. I was like, I'm hanging out with the sea creatures tonight. And that's that. I love you guys, like for real. And I really just appreciate you so much. And I'm glad you're here. The second thing that was funny was when I started this, I was almost a little bit not afraid, but like a little bit like hesitant to tell my mom, because she's very like wary of the internet and is very like, Emily, like don't tell people like your name, like blah, blah, blah. So I told her that I had started a YouTube like a week in, and she was like, I know, I've been watching your videos. And I was like, oh, wait, what? So now my mom has become like the number one sea creature. She's probably here right now. She doesn't do the chat. But she, at the end of every single show, like the second that it ends, she'll be like, I love your show. And today she texted me the best, literally like the best thing I've ever heard. Oh, she just said watching you. So hi, Mom. She said, she just texted me out of nowhere and said, I saw you're streaming at 6:30. We have dinner plans, but I'll watch you on the replay crew. She knows about the replay crew. I'm dying. So I was like, that's so funny. You know the lingo. And she was like, I've been watching. So she's the best. Hi, Mom. And that's a perfect segue because we are going to talk tonight about the opposite of my mom, a very sketchy, scary woman who raised Brian Walshe to be at this point, at minimum, a con man, at most, a schmurderer, whatever you're supposed to say on YouTube. And so for those of you who weren't here yesterday, I went to court yesterday to watch the Walsh closing arguments. And actually, wait, we need to do this first. American Dreamer said, "Do you get your sweetness from your mom?" Okay. I need to explain how I am an exact combination of my mom and my dad in the funniest, most confusing way. My mom is the most like caring, above and beyond, almost to the point of like being annoying, where it's like, Mom, like I can actually handle this. Like she just like is very, not a like helicopter parent at all, but like a very caring, loving, just always wants to like help person. And she's very introverted. And she doesn't like to be in a big group of people, and she doesn't like to go to like parties and things like that. She's very, very smart. She's worked at the same software company for 30, almost as long as I've been alive, 35 years. She was like an executive before like women were like allowed to be executives, like very just like a go-getter. Okay. Then my dad is like the like goofiest. We call him Rascal. He's like the silliest, goofiest, the most social butterfly you've ever met in your entire life. Like, he has like a lunch plan, a dinner plan, a biking plan, a this plan, like every single day. And it's like with all these different people. All he wants to do is be around people. He is just like silly and funny and so my dad was more of like the not stay-at-home dad. He was working too, but my mom worked longer hours when I was a kid. So my dad was the one that was like home with us. My dad cooked dinner. And I am an exact combination of the two of them, to the point that sometimes I feel like there's like a conflict going on inside of me where I'm like I want to go out. I want to stay in. I want to be around people. I want to be by myself. And it's like, I don't know which one of them I am. I look like both of them. Like when I'm with my mom, people say we look so much alike. When I'm with my dad, people say we look so much alike. When we're together, people are like, whoa, that's your kid. So yeah, they're the best. They watch Carter. They pick Carter up from school every Monday and they take him to their house. So they're also the best, not just the best parents, but the best grandparents. And they're literally just the best. Oh, I like that. Nay Taylor said, so your parents are yin and yang. That's so true. Cusco Wright said, who does Carter resemble? He's like at a funny stage where his baby pictures looked like, he looks like my facial like shape with like Jake's like expressions, if that makes sense. I don't know. I'm excited to see like as he's kind of like transitioning from like his like baby. He just turned 5, so he's going from like baby to kid. And Trial Channel said both. Like he really does just look like both of us. Okay. So yesterday we were talking about, you guys are the best. I don't know why that like makes me emotional, like just for you to say thank you for sharing. I like really like thank you for listening. Like thank you for caring. Like really means a lot. So yesterday I was talking about how I went to court for the first time and I sat directly behind Brian Walsh's mother. And her energy is just a lot. It's intense. It's like scary. And I want to like do the preface I did last night, which is that I understand like she's going through a lot and like people can feel have like kind of a heavy energy, and like I'm not like an energy person, but like how you can like feel people's energy. So people when somebody's like going through something that is difficult, sometimes you can like feel that on them where it's like, oh, you're just like I can like understand you're like intense right now. There's like a lot going on with you. It didn't feel like that to me. It felt like darker. And the other things, I saw somebody ask this in the chat last night. It also didn't feel like mommy dearest. Like it didn't feel, and maybe I don't know that story well enough, but it didn't feel like Brian and his mother are very connected. And I could be very wrong about that because we're going to see in one thing where it seems like she felt very connected to him, but like he passed by her like 1 foot away from each other as he was walking past, and they both kind of like looked down to the ground. And like I would think if it was more kind of like mommy dearest vibes, that they would be like making like longing, like meaningful eye contact, or just like an encouraging nod or like a smile or something. But they both kind of like looked down to the side, like not on purpose making eye contact. Sorry, but it wasn't this. Kate just asked, did she give a mad, sad, disappointed? Like it wasn't that either. It was like, oh, it could have been, now that I'm like thinking back on it, it could have been like we're hiding a secret and like we're trying on purpose not to look at each other, because if we do, like something about our eye contact might like give the secret away. Or it was just kind of like I don't really care. I'm not here. It's not about you. I don't know. Or that Brian is mad at her and she like couldn't do anything about it. That could have been it. Like he was like, oh, like you're so annoying, like you're still here, like that kind of vibe. But okay, so there's a couple things that I wanted to go over tonight. And I think I want to start with this letter. So somebody on here who goes by Seattle sent me or let me know about this letter that Diana Walshe had sent to Judge Woodlock when Brian Walsh was awaiting sentencing for the art fraud. And you know how you can send in like, not like letters of recommendation, but like letters of, I forget what they're called, character references or something, where you say like I think that you should give him like a lighter sentence because he's like always like a pillar of society, like that kind of thing. Diana wrote a letter that I think gives us so much insight into like where her head was at in 2021. And this all happened in 2022. And this is what I mean. Like, this is why I titled the show, like, should the Mass State Police have looked into Diana Walshe more? Because to me, this actually isn't even about like prosecuting Brian Walsh or prosecuting Diana Walshe. Like, it's so much bigger than that. It's like, are we operating in a system where the people who are tasked to get to the bottom of the story don't care enough, or aren't curious enough, or aren't smart enough, or aren't like concerned enough to ask the questions that like you and I are like itching to ask and like want to ask, and like we're having to dig up all of these things on our own just to like satisfy that curiosity. Actually, I think we should start with the clip from Yuri, because I think that really like frames this. and then we'll go back to like what he would have found out if he was cooler than he is. Okay. So I have just a short clip from which one is it? They both start the same. I have a short clip from Yuri that I want to share about this is from the evidentiary hearing about when he was at Brian and Anna's house when Anna was first missing. And he is explaining his initial interaction with Diana Walshe. And like my question for you is, imagine you are Yuri Buchanan. At the end of this interaction, would you have had just not even like would you have thought she was the person you should be looking into? Not even Sam. Not even like what, like, do you think that they should have been targeting her as the suspect? I don't even mean anything like that. I just mean, would you have had a little like inkling of like, let's find out more? So that's what we're going to watch right now. This one's only a couple minutes. Wait, let me make sure that you're going to be able to hear that. Also share audio. Yes. Okay.
The three officers that arrived.
Where were the children when you initially had the opportunity to speak with Diana Walshe?
Upon her request, the children went upstairs in the main portion of the home to the second floor.
Now, can you explain how the initial conversation, what occurred during your initial conversation with the defendant's mother?
Yes. As we sat down, Diana was asked to provide her date of birth and a phone number. She initially ignored my request and was texting on her phone. A follow-up request was also momentarily not addressed or not answered. She then advised us that she had utmost respect for what we do, but she only has one son, and she was very adamant in helping find Anna.
Did she say what she was doing as far as trying to...
Okay. First, we need to talk about that. Okay. She had the utmost respect for law enforcement. What was his exact word? She had the utmost respect for law enforcement, but, which is like a weird, like, I have the utmost respect for law enforcement, but Brian is my only son. Okay. Let's think about that. I have the utmost respect for law enforcement, but Brian is my only son. Like, either she is in that moment, like, admitting that he did something wrong and that she doesn't want to say anything incriminating about him, or she's like admitting that she would protect him. Hold on. I'm trying to like get the exact, okay, wait. 528. She only has one son. Okay. She advised us that she has the utmost respect for what we do, but she only has one son. Okay. Well, that would make me at least like, where's your like curiosity level? Just, this is his very first interaction with her. Actually, let's go back one more. He sat down, was like, "Hi, I'm Yuri Buchanan. I want to ask you a few questions." And she was like, okay. I promise you, if Karen Reed had done that, we would have heard about that from minute 1 of the trial to the last minute of the retrial, and people would still be talking about it today. Why was Karen on her phone? Why was Karen texting? Why didn't Karen look up when Yuri asked her a question? Right? Am I wrong? So already, to me, like, let's give everybody starts at a 0. Like, let's pretend we give the benefit of the doubt to everybody. Exactly, Kate. Kate said, I'd love to know who she was texting. And that is actually even more interesting when we get to her letter, because, like, Yuri, you didn't want to ask, like, oh, sorry, is this a bad time? Like, are you texting somebody, like, important? Like, are you texting Anna? At that point, they think she might still be alive. Like, she might just be, like, in a meeting at a work emergency. Like, Yuri had not a single little, like, inkling of curiosity to even ask the question. No. So he just, like, sat there twiddling his thumbs for a little bit and then tried again and was like, hi, I'm Yuri Buchanan. Like, I want to ask you a few questions. And she was like, I'm sorry, I have the utmost respect for what you do, but he's my only son. Okay. Well, let's keep going and see what he says next. I gotta get better. Actually, StreamYard has to get better. This isn't a me thing. This is a StreamYard thing.
For what we do, but she only has one son, and she was very adamant in helping find Anna.
Did she say what she was doing as far as trying to find Anna?
Yes, she stated that she had Googled, researched a top PI firm, private investigator.
First of all, like, before we even get to the this is a lie, did she state what she's trying very hard to find Anna. You know how hard she's trying? She went on Google. Okay.
Investigation firm in the DC area, and she had been communicating with the owner / CEO of the company.
And
okay, so she Googled a PI firm, and then she talked to the owner. Helen knows the owner. Okay. So she did nothing. She so far has done nothing, and she's now impeding the investigation because you, Yuri, are supposed to feel like I am the investigation. I am, like, the time is of the essence. There is a woman missing. We don't have seconds, let alone minutes, to watch you, like, scroll your Facebook friends and pretend that you're looking for Anna. Okay. So we actually do know who the firm is, because we're going to hear about it in the evidentiary hearing. But hold on, I forget if there's, like, one more thing on Yuri.
did she give you any contact information for that person?
Yes, she provided both a business line and a private cell phone number for the individual.
Now, did she have the opportunity in this during this conversation? Did she tell you what had occurred with her son's cell phone as far as January 1?
Okay, we can come back to that in a little bit if we have time, but that part's not important at this moment, because now wait. Melissa just said they're a very googly family. That's so true. All they do is Google. Oh, I'm Googling. I'm just Googling it. Maybe she's the one who did all the Google searches. Like, she's the one who said the word Google immediately. The first word out of her mouth was like, I'm Googling. And now the most damning evidence in this case is the Google searches. They're googly family. Courtney said, what size Tyvek suit does she wear? So last night I was saying, like, she's tiny. Like, she is an extra small. Like, she's, like, itsy bitsy. I don't know if she's, like, she might be tiny. I don't know what she looked like at that. Actually, that might be a good point. I don't know what she looked like then. Like, she could have lost a lot of weight, like, going through all this stress. But she's like skin and bones right now. And she has those, like, little, she wears, like, big kind of platform shoes to, like, kind of make herself look a little bit more, like, like robust, but she's not. But they might have only had a medium that might have been the smallest size, and a extra small can fit into a medium. Like, I don't think that like Brian Walshe, somebody asked last night. So Brian Walshe is 6'2", which is tall. I said he was like normal. I guess it's tall. He couldn't fit into a medium. Unless maybe he has like body dysmorphia and like thought like, oh, I'm like feeling slim today. But okay, let's hop over to this pre-trial hearing really quickly, just so that we can like check this box and move on, because the Google search, her saying, I Google searched a PI firm and I talked to the CEO. That did happen. So if you guys watch Sergio Gennaro, you will know like the best lies are kind of like rooted in the truth. That did happen, just not, it wasn't currently happening. She wasn't texting with the CEO to like find Anna then. She had hired them because her psychic told her to. Let's watch.
To introduce Axios Investigations, hired by Diana Walshe, December 28th, 2022. Defendant is opposing. So what is it? Is the Commonwealth just seeking to admit through a person, presumably, that comes from Axios, because Diana Walshe is not on the witness list?
Yes, Your Honor.
So
We listed her as a witness, Your Honor. We don't know if we're going to call her, but we did list her in an abundance of caution.
all right, I'll make sure that she's,
I apologize, Your
I
Honor.
don't think she's on there.
She's
It could
not
be a
on the list.
clerical error. But
Okay, so keep that so
She's
that,
also present in the court right now, Your Honor.
well,
This is how you know her vibes are scary. Did you just see that? They said she's also in the court right now, Your Honor, and they were all like, ugh. Like, tell me that wasn't everybody freaking the F out in that exact moment. Also, somebody just asked, is that the dog whisperer guy, Sergio Gennaro? No, Sergio Gennaro is, if you don't follow him, the channel is Truth Revealed. I've never gotten so hooked on a YouTube creator so fast. Though he is like a human lie detector, and I'm so excited that you don't know who he is yet, because you just got yourself like hours and hours and hours of the best content that there is about Karen Read. Anyways, so Lisa Chick said, Diana gives me Brian Laundrie parents vibes. She knows something, but this is her only son. It's either that or it's something in between Brian Laundrie's parents, who were clearly just covering for him, and Donna Adelson, who was meddling for him. And I guess that is where Yuri should have been thinking like we are, which is like, I wonder which one, but guess not. Kelly says, Kelly says I can speak more freely if she's not here. They all panicked. Like, okay, we need to go back 5 seconds and just watch them all panic and then hear about where this Axios. So the company is called Axios. Let's hear about where they actually came from.
keep that so that,
She's also present in the court right now, Your Honor.
well, do you want to do anything about that?
I didn't know she was on the witness list, so I didn't move to, I didn't move to sequester her for this hearing. So I didn't understand that she was going to testify, Your Honor. I apologize.
All right. So
I can tell you what I would intend to introduce a trial from Axios. It's just very,
She's probably in the back like, don't worry, I was going to watch anyways.
very simple, a contract that was executed.
right, which I've seen.
Yes.
It's a grand jury exhibit.
Yes, Your Honor.
What's the objection to that?
So, Your Honor, what's the relevance of someone who the government isn't calling as a witness to introduce something that they did on the 27th of December?
Well, the relevance,
She hired Axios on the 27th of December.
frankly, I'm going to ask that Ms. Walsh leave the courtroom.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Peace out.
I can speak more freely in a moment.
Mhm.
There it is.
Thank you.
I can speak more freely.
So, Your Honor, the evidence that the government has provided us.
She turned around so fast. She's like, oh my God, thank God she's gone. Watch how fast she's like, oh, thank God that witch is gone.
So, Your Honor, the evidence that the government has provided us suggests that Diana Walshe.
I know it's because she might be a witness. She actually didn't end up being a witness, but it's like there's something underlying it that's more than that, where it's like it almost feels like they told her not to be there and then she was, and they were too scared to tell her. Like that's the vibe I get, is like they had already said to her like 4 times, like, you're a witness, you can't be in the courtroom, like don't come. And she was like, I'm coming if I want to. I will be a fly on the wall. And then they were like, no, you can't be there. And she was like, you can't tell me what to do. And then finally they were like too scared, or she like haunted their dreams. And then she was there anyways. And so then they're like, okay, well, she's here right now. That's the vibe I get.
Walsh contacted Axios Investigations on December 27th through email and phone calls, that she signed the contract, that she paid for it. In the grand jury testimony, Jeremy Dozier states that Diana Walshe specifically said, I don't want my son to know about this. So they're trying to basically say, she did this. We have no evidence that he was part of it, knew about it, directed it, paid for it. And it's just prejudicial.
But I read somewhere, and it has to be in the grand jury. I read somewhere that the connection to the defendant is that she wanted to do this for some time because of the psychic, and that she went to the defendant.
The way Judge Frenier is like the psychic, the whole. I just feel like Judge Frenier is a person who's like, oh, you went to a psychic. Like, and what did they say? She's like, okay, the whole. Okay, so basically, I think that's like the point I wanted to make is I think we can be done with that one, unless you guys want to see more of that one. But I want to get to this letter because the letter is crazy. Okay. So Yuri's very first interaction is she's texting on her phone or like on Facebook Marketplace or whatever, like Diana Walshe does. Or she's probably posting like, I have the best son in the world. And she says, I'm so sorry. Like, I can't, that's my only son. Apparently it's not in a shady way, even though it is. And then she says, I just hired a PI firm to find Anna. And that's not true. And these are things where I feel like sometimes lawyers get like, now that I'm like zoomed out in like, I don't know the law, but I know the like kind of human level of it. This is exactly correct. She's giving Addams Family vibes. I feel like Kelly Porges did the wrong thing here because she got so focused on defending Brian, and she's right. Like the whole point, they're trying to use the PI firm as evidence that he knew about the affair and that was motive for murder. And Porges is trying to say she had even said, like, I hired this firm without him knowing. But there's like a bigger thing going on here, which is, hello, she lied about when she hired the firm. And that she's posting on Facebook. She's like, look at this beautiful fake artwork my son just sold. Okay. So if here's this is the perfect comment to get into this. Lovely Flight said, imagine that's your mother-in-law. And here we go. So this is 2022. We're going to turn the clock back now to August of 2021. So just 15 months. What is that? 15 months. And if Yuri Buchanan or Guarino or Whittle Baby Keefe, if any of them had 1 ounce of any type of curiosity, they would have been like, let's see what Diana's vibe was with Anna, and not just ask her like, do you like her, but actually like see if there's any thing that we can turn to that will tell us. And oh my goodness gracious, it just so happens that this man was just facing sentencing. And as part of facing sentencing, there are these letters. And Diana wrote a letter. So now we're going to get into her headspace. Okay, I feel like Melanie Little, but here we go. Or I feel like I'm trying to be Melanie Little. I don't actually feel like her. I feel like a Temu version of Melanie Little. Okay. So this is August 26th, 2021. And this is a 4-page letter from Diana Walshe to Judge Woodlock. And she says, I am eternally grateful for your consideration to read my letter, begging and pleading for your mercy and compassion for my son, Brian Reza Walshe. Your mercy and compassion will have impacts beyond measure on not only Brian's life, but my life and the lives of his 3 sons, Thomas, 5 years, 2 months, William, 23 months, and little baby Brian, 9 months. My mother, may she rest in peace, advised me that words are, I actually really like this sentence. Hold on. This is actually a very good sentence, just not like from her right at this moment. Words spoken from my heart would take a direct path to reach the heart of the intended. I like that. Heeding her advice, I write to you from my heart and hope it also compensates for my lack of mastery in English, since most of my formal education in the USA were in science and engineering. Okay, first of all, spoiler alert, she doesn't seem like she has a problem with English. This is if her and Yuri even got to chit-chatting for a second, they could have bonded over that. And it like digs even more into what she ultimately says about Anna in a second. So keep that sentence in mind. She has a lack of mastery in English because of her formal education. Okay. Brian, my son, showed poor judgment and has accepted responsibility for his behavior. I know that you have to sentence him in this system, but I ask that you not sentence him to jail. A sentence to jail that you might impose on Brian will have a serious impact on me. My son is the only reason I get up in the morning. He is the only person to take care of me, and he is always there for me. There's no period at the end of that sentence, but we'll pretend there is. I am a very private person, leading a hermit-like existence for the past few years. My only living relative with whom I have a relationship, a brother, will be 79 years old this September. Okay, so he's 78. I have not seen my brother in 4.5 years, as he is in poor health and lives in North Carolina. I do not have any friends. I do not socialize with anyone. My son and his boys have been the only ones to visit me for the past 4.5 years. Also, just to clarify, we are in a year into COVID. It's August of 2021. So we are like at that moment of COVID where we're like, I forget if I've ever seen a person ever before. So let's give her like a teeny tiny grain of salt for that. Okay. So then she says, here, this sentence. My son and his boys have been the only ones to visit me for the past 4.5 years. They are the only ones I interact with. Unfortunately, I do not have a good relationship with my daughter-in-law, perhaps due to cultural differences. Oh, you mean the woman that's missing? You are fully admitting you do not have a good relationship with? And let's pair that together with a minute ago when we just saw that your psychic told you to hire a private investigator, which you did 5 days before just happened. Where did it go? 5 days before she went missing? Oh, that's cool. Okay. I do not have a good relationship with my daughter-in-law, perhaps due to cultural differences. Or perhaps you could both bond over the fact that, as you just said, you also did not have formal schooling in America and blah, blah, blah. Maybe that could have brought you closer. Just saying. Therefore, my son is the one and only constant in my life, taking care of me and ensuring I have some joy by seeing my grandchildren. Your Honor. Now this part's sad. I have had lung cancer. I have had 3 lung cancer surgeries, 2009, 2011, 2019. The last one in October 2019 was quite extensive as I kept pushing. Now this part gets weird. As I kept pushing out the surgery date to ensure I could be present in court and support Brian. No, I'm sorry. You put on your air mask first before helping others. If needed. So she's only there if needed. I'm sorry. He also had a wife at the time. I did not tell my son I needed the surgery, nor that I kept rescheduling it because I knew he would have made sure I give the highest level of priority where my health was concerned. My surgeon was concerned that precancerous nodules on my lungs keep growing and becoming cancerous. Given my history, I need CAT scans every 6 months, and my son is the only one who takes me to appointments. When I went to an appointment with my doctor on August 6th, 2021, so 20 days earlier, I was concerned that I could not walk a few steps up the stairs. I found out the main reason. I have 55% of my lungs left at the moment. Now, I will tell you guys, after being in the courtroom, the stairs up to that courtroom are very old and steep, and she seems to be doing just fine. I mean, she might have taken the elevator, but she seems fine. I have not told my son that I have more nodules in my lungs or that I only have 55% of my lung capacity. Well, then it can't be that noticeable that you can't walk, because otherwise he would have noticed. I do not want him to worry, especially if he cannot be here to help me. My next appointment is scheduled for January 28th, 2022, and I don't know what I will do if my son is not with me. Okay. My son took me to all my appointments for X-ray, CAT scan, meetings with my surgeon and my primary physician. My son took great care of me during recovery periods in 2009, 2011, and 2019. The list is long, and following are only a handful of examples. At Mass General Hospital, he would visit me at least twice a day. You know how much twice a day is to visit somebody at Mass General? Like, getting parking at Mass General is just getting to Longwood and like getting into the parking garage and everything is a lot. Going 2 times a day, I mean, that's very kind if that's true, but that is a lot. You should just stay for one longer one if you're going to do that. We're also going to hear how much Brian Walsh loves to cook for people. He really like fills people up. He brought cakes for the nurses on different shifts to make me happy. He brought the cakes to make her happy. When I was home every morning, he brought me coffee from my favorite coffee shop. You know, it's not Dunkin' Donuts. He would bring trays of prepared food to my bedroom and would look very sad when I could not eat due to pain and medication. I could not drive for months due to pain medication, and he ensured that I did not need anything and that I could see my grandchildren. He would tell me how much fun they had spending time with his mother. Christmas 2019. I wanted to stay home as I was still recovering from surgery. Brian would not hear of it. So that is so interesting because if I said to somebody, I want to stay home, it would be like, I want to stay home. And if you make me go out, I'm actually going to like be annoyed about that. But she's saying like, no, Brian, like, I just want to stay home. I'm still recovering. But he would not hear any of it. He cooked for 3 days, family dishes he believed would make me happy. He printed a menu, which I have kept, and he took me to his home. He did the same for New Year that year. So it almost sounds like being together on New Year's Eve is a tradition. Why does that keep happening? My computer's like, oh, you're on your soapbox now. Okay. But okay, he did the same for New Year that year. So you guys spending New Year's together is like a thing that you do together. What happened the next New Year? Also, Jessica gets it. It's like if like I know myself well enough that like if I got to the point where I'm like I don't want to go, then like I don't want to go. Like this isn't like I'm not being like coy. I'm not being like cute. Like I'm being like, hey, I've thought about like the pros and cons and like I pictured myself there and I pictured what outfit I'm gonna and I don't want to go. And like it's actually gonna like really annoy me if you make me. But she doesn't have that. She's like, no, silly. I'm recovering. I can't. Well, I don't want to be a burden. Okay. Is my computer going to X me out again when I get on my soapbox again? Okay. He cooked for 3 days, which is like a regular amount of time to be cooking like ham for Christmas. So that sounds about right. Okay. My son is always concerned about my well-being and needs. Examples are many. Following are a few that show his kind heart. Now, I need everybody to see. While I'm reading this, I just need you to picture this and tell me if you think this shows his kind heart towards Anna. Okay? Because a kind heart is not just like towards one person. It's like a kind heart is like you know the kindness like in a situation. Like there is every situation has kind of like the person who like deserves your kindness. Okay. During the snowstorm of 2020, which you guys know I went back in my camera roll and I found. So the snowstorm happened. It started on the 16th. It went into the 17th. Okay. During the snowstorm of 2020, he was at MGH with his wife for the arrival of his third son named after him, Brian, born December 17th. Okay. So the snowstorm of 2020 that she's talking about was the 16th and the 17th. So that was probably really stressful for Anna. She is 9 months pregnant, about to go into labor, like days before. She's probably watching the weather report and she's like, oh my God, there's a huge snowstorm coming. Like, what if I go into labor? Like, they're probably panicked all about that. Like, God willing, they get to the hospital. They also love MGH. Like, a lot of people in this area, just so you guys know, like, you'll go to like MGH for like a surgery, but then you'll go to like Beth Israel for like labor and delivery or whatever. No, they are MGH through and through. So they're at Mass General and there's a snowstorm. They make it. Anna has the baby Brian, and the snow is letting up. They're like, oh great, like we'll be able to like take the baby home in a couple of days, and the roads will be clear. And our 2 other kids, who knows, we don't know where they are. It doesn't sound like they're with mom, so we don't know. And then she says, he called from the hospital to let me know he was going to clear the snow from my car. Okay, that's really nice of you for Anna. She just had a baby. But yeah, let's head over and clear the snow from your mom's car that she's not driving because she only sees us. Then he lived in Cohasset. I remember yelling at him and asking if he had lost his mind. Regardless, several hours later, he and his wife were in the hallway of my apartment. Also, this is December of 2020. We are in like the COVID time. So I had Carter in November of 2020, and that Thanksgiving was when COVID like spiked like crazy. It was like the graphs that were normally like like suddenly were like ah! And it was like in normal times you're not supposed to like bring a brand new baby around like germs until they've had all their vaccinations or whatever, however, you know. And this is a 1 to 3 day old baby, and we are over at her house in the hallway of my apartment following CDC guidelines with the newborn. My son wanted to make sure I saw my new grandson for a few minutes, even though it was a storm. Like Anna's in a diaper. Anna is like fully still bleeding. Even small things matter when it comes to his mother. When he found out the batteries of my... It does get mad every time I'm on my soapbox. What is happening? Wait. Why does it do that? I can't get excited. But you guys, this part's crazy. Okay. I'm not getting excited, but you guys, when he found out the batteries of my TV remote control were dead and I could not watch the cable news, he drove from Cohasset to deliver batteries so I would not have to leave my apartment. Bitch, have you ever heard of Amazon? Amazon makes their own brand of batteries. You have money, order batteries. I have a box of batteries that I got for like $14 on Amazon, and we go through batteries like crazy, and I still haven't finished that box of batteries. Also, Brian, like this is like the same thing with like Lindsay Clancy said, like Brian, just you order the batteries on Amazon if she's so dumb, and you send them to her. Why are we all we went to her house because the batteries on her remote control died. Yeah, they do last like 2 hours, but like it always feels good just knowing I have a bunch of batteries, but they really don't last very long. That's a great point. I actually did never really like piece that together, how many batteries I go through. Okay. He's always available to take me to my doctor's appointments. Now, also we need to be clear. I don't know how she's getting to like court and pretrial and everything every day, but I didn't see anybody else sitting with her, and she's there every day. It almost seems like she can drive. She also was sick. Okay, I take that one back. I'm going to eat that one because like maybe she was really sick at that time. He is always available to take me to my doctor's appointments, even when I keep rescheduling due to physical or mental issues. Mental issues. She's admitting to mental issues. Yuri, did you want to find out about that? It was all right here in the docket. I even figured out how to do the docket. I found the docket. Yuri, you know where the docket is? I'll show you. On August 11th, 2021, he insisted to take me to my eye doctor for cataract exams and measurements, as I had not been in a long time. It's almost like she doesn't need cataract surgery twice. Brian had taken me several years ago to Dr. Richter twice for preventative procedures for glaucoma. Therefore, he was concerned. His concern was right, as the doctor had scheduled me for cataract surgery in both eyes. Okay, I actually need you guys to, this is something I don't know, but I know somebody in the chat does. If you had cataract surgery in both eyes in August of 2021, do you need cataract surgery again a year later? Like, how long does cataract surgery last? And the reason why I asked this, just in case this isn't clear, is because Brian said that his mom was getting cataract surgery over New Year's, and that's why he had to like go to her house, and that's when he was dumping body thingies. And I see some people in the chat saying they only do one eye at a time. If they only do one eye at a time, how far apart are they typically spaced? Because like if they don't do them for like a year apart, then I'll eat this one too. But if you need both and they only do one at two, okay, I'm going to just believe the first thing I see, and that is you. Cat Savage Art said 2 weeks, 6 weeks. Either way, nothing's working right now. Either way, 3 weeks, 4 to 6 weeks. I trust all of you guys. Not 15 months. So say she got them both done then, which it sounds like she did. Okay, wait. So let's see if it really does sound like she did. His concern was right, as the doctor has scheduled me for cataract surgery for both eyes, and Brian is the only one I have to take me. I guess it doesn't say she got it. She was getting it. She could have put it off for 15 months. I don't know. Wait, Jessica said, Emily, you should do Audible books. I should not, because what the heck is going on? I would start reading and then be like, wait, I need to say something. Wait, have you, I love audiobooks, and I listen to, what's her name? Leslie from SNL. What is her last name? She did her audiobook like that, where she literally just said, oh, I like this chapter. And then she's like, just tells the story. And she's like, this was a crazy chapter. It was a very funny audiobook. Okay. Gotta go back here now. Sorry. What is her name? Leslie Jones. Thank you. You're the best. Okay. So I guess from that wording, it doesn't sound like she actually has had the surgery yet, but she's wording it as if it is currently scheduled in 2021. And she's basically saying, you can't send my son to jail because there's nobody else there's nobody else to take me. Also, maybe you don't be rude to your daughter-in-law and she'll take you. Just saying. Despite all this, my son always makes sure I do not feel like a burden. My son brings his children so I can see them for a few minutes in the parking lot, following CDC guidelines. You know they're in her house. He makes it like an adventure for everyone and always tells me what a great time the kids had seeing their grandmother. He is always asking if I have food and water in the apartment. Water? You have a sink. You live in Cohasset or Hingham or another nice town? What nice town does she live in here? Swampscott. So one of the nicest towns in Massachusetts. There's not you have clean water from your sink. He makes sure you have water. Okay. He's always asking if I have food and water in the apartment, or do I need the garbage taken out? It's almost like this guy has a thing with the garbage. During storms, he gets in the car and drives to check on me, ensuring my safety. Well, that's not a good idea. That's actually a bad idea. They literally call it snob Scott. That's the other side of the bridge for me. So I didn't know that growing up, but I like that. Okay, so when there is a storm and she's just inside and they have cell phones, he instead drives in the storm to go check on her. So, he said, was Brian married to Anna or his mother? Unclear. Above all, he puts up with my neuroses and idiosyncrasies. We're now admitting it, while he ensures I know I am much loved by him and my grandchildren. Well, if I was Yuri and I just had a weird interaction with her, I might want to ask what those neuroses and idiosyncrasies are. No? Okay. His kindness, compassion, and love were extended to his grandparents, my parents as well. When I was pursuing postgraduate degree in chemical engineering, my younger brother got, oh, that part's sad. My younger brother got killed in a car accident. We're not going to make fun of that part. His car was sideswiped. To prevent hitting a car full of children, he hit the pole and passed away on the scene. That is sad. My mother tried twice. Okay, we're actually going to skip that. This is all kind of sad. She's gone through some tragedy. It might have made her a little crazy. But now, let's get back to Anna. He loves his wife very much and was concerned when his mother-in-law lost her husband of 47 years in Serbia. She came for a visit in 2020 and 2021. Understandably, she was very depressed and also not in good health. Brian made sure she felt welcome, cooked, and when people make lists that are wrong like that, it's so Brian made sure she felt welcome, cooked, and served. And served all her meals, meeting her dietary requirements. She had said no one had ever cooked for her before. Oh my God, I didn't even do anything that time. Why are you mad this time, computer? She had said no one had ever cooked for her before, and she had the best son-in-law. Where his children are concerned, he is the most amazing father. It has been said, paradise lies under the feet of mothers. If there are fathers as completely devoted, loving, kind, and caring as my son, then paradise lies under the feet of such fathers as well. My son can take the credit for being an amazing father all by himself. Despite all issues in his upbringing, Brian has been able to raise happy children. He is always playing with his children, oh my God, hold on. Okay, wait. We need to pause for 1 second. There's something very important. Okay. In Yuri's pretrial, I'm not going to go back and watch the video right now, but I need you all to remember that like half of the information that we know from the Google searches and blah, blah, blah came from Yuri's like interrogation of a 6-year-old, right? You all remember that? So Yuri sat down with the 6-year-old and was like asking him like, oh, when did your mom leave? Like she had a 2-foot long suitcase. Okay, oh, your mom fixed your iPad before she left at 6 a.m. And you also know 6 a.m. and we're just like having a full conversation about all of this. Okay, yeah. You all remember that? I need you to keep that in mind. Because Hold on. My eldest grandson, Thomas, would only call for his daddy when he stayed with me for a few days prior to moving to their home. This should simply indicate who was and is his main caregiver. Sorry, we weren't ready for the part that I was getting to yet. We need to talk a little smack about Anna first for no reason. This should simply indicate who was and is his main caregiver. Okay. Thomas was born early by 3 weeks. There were concerns he was late to start walking. His father took him to all evaluation sessions, followed the exercise routines with his son on a daily basis. Thomas, rather than walking, started to run so fast only his daddy could keep up with him. Anna's too slow. Thomas needed to work on his enunciation. He has a speech delay. The oldest son, Yuri's confidant, Yuri's number one provider of information, has a speech delay. Now, I understand, and I want to be very clear, I live in the world. My son is nonverbal or just starting to talk. We don't really know. I understand that kids who are working on their enunciation can still be understood. They can, but that is not a 6-year-old with I'm assuming enunciation is the same as talking about articulation. Like a 6-year-old with articulation issues is a 6-year-old that has trouble being understood. They're not going that is not a kid that you're I will base my entire police investigation on this child's information. That's all I'm getting at. This is not anything about the son and the son's speech and anything like that. It is just, if you are a police officer at the very start of an investigation, I get it if it's a cold case and there's only one person that you could ask these questions to, and the only person is the 6-year-old, and the 6-year-old has something they want. But we are at the start of this investigation. There's a lot of other information out there. Why are we going to a 6-year-old who's just learning how to talk? Okay. Brian was given directions to correct him, read books to him, and Thomas is doing much better. Not all clear, just better. Thomas is attached to his father beyond measure. He is bright, sensitive, kind, fearless. He's like a Swiftie. And handsome. Thomas reminds me of his father when he was his age. Brian is the main caregiver for his 3 sons. Yeah, and Anna's the main breadwinner. What is happening with this? Anytime I talk, I can't. My computer actually has a mind of its own right now. Okay. Brian is the main caregiver for his 3 sons. He cooks, shops, cleans, plays, communicates boundaries, and reads bedtime stories. My son is the one who ensures I get the latest updates about my grandsons. Oh, is anybody getting Donna Adelson and Skype vibes? And the Wendy Adelson and Jackie Fulford being like, y'all know Skype. I get the latest updates about my grandsons, get to see them and speak or hear their voices. Also, you guys need to, just if you're not local to the area, Swampscott and Cohasset are not far apart. This is not oh, we're across the country, we're in different time zones, we don't live near each other, it's hard for us to see each other. She could be at their house she could literally be there every day. This is not the drama that she's going for. If it were not for him, my relationship with my grandsons would come to a halt. I need to read, well, I can't highlight it. I need to read that again because I need to ask you what you think she's saying here. If it were not for him, my relationship with my grandsons would come to a halt. What's she saying? Because I'm getting, if it was not for Brian, then it would be for Anna. And if it were for Anna, then she would not be allowed to see her grandkids. Anybody else getting that too? Yeah. Brian is very remorseful for his conduct and for the harm and pain he caused. Since his arrest, Brian has worked very hard to transform. I have absolutely no doubt that he will never break the law again for the rest of his life. Oh, yeah, you do? You're going to break it for him? Brian understands that financial restitution is a must to repay for his conduct. He is working very hard towards that goal and will not rest until it is repaid. And that is true. We saw that in the trial. Perhaps the greatest indicator for true remorse is the extent of one's transformation. Brian has made great stride in that space. Brian has volunteered to work for good causes towards preserving, this part makes me laugh, towards preserving human dignity and to become the role model his children deserve. Okay, you know how if you're like, I want to like get some like good karma, I want to like do some good, you like sign, you're like, I'm going to go like to the, I'm going to do the walk for hunger. Like I'm going to like serve food at like X, Y, and Z on Christmas. Like you kind of pick like one charity and like maybe you're for people who are like nicer than me, maybe you like do more with that one charity like multiple times or donate, whatever. Okay, not Brian. Brian attended the Boston Breakthrough Academy Leadership Development Programs towards the beginning of January 2021 and has volunteered to help nonprofit organizations and now has a 3-line list of organizations. Lovin' Spoonfuls Food Rescue Boston, Yes We Care, Torch Foundation, Habitat for Humanity, Refugee Support USCRI, Ocean Conservice, how do you say that word? Conservancy? Cancer treatment. There's just something called cancer treatment. Apparently, it's like the organization is called Cancer Treatment, and the Ashton Langford Basketball Academy. That's too many. Like, just pick one. Or maybe if you weren't trying to donate all your time and money to so many different organizations, you wouldn't have to con people in the first place, and then you wouldn't be in this mess. I vote for Torch Foundation. I don't know what that is. I like that name, though. My son is also fully aware of the impact of his action on others, namely his sons and his mother. Not his wife. Nope. We don't, no impact on his wife, namely his sons and his mother. He will never put a, I can't. Why does it keep doing that? I can't, okay. I can't get excited. For anybody who watches The Good Place, you know I'm just obsessed with the show. But there's a part in The Good Place where they are, the people in the bad place have to go into these like cocoons if they get too emotional when they're talking to Sean. That's how I feel right now. I literally can't get excited or it closes. What is going on? Hines, you know Good Place? That makes me so happy. I literally ask every single person, like, do you watch The Good Place? And it just makes me so happy every time somebody does. And if you haven't, you guys, you need to. It's the best show in the world. Okay, so namely his sons and his mother. He will never put us as his sons and his mother, through that trauma again. When my daughter-in-law told me Brian was arrested, my entire system went into shock. Oh, do we blame her? Do we blame her because your son got arrested? That's what I see. I don't know if, no, it doesn't. Thanks for noticing me. Also, I think that's the cutest name in your little Eeyore picture. Maybe I do have some settings on that I need to turn off. That's a good point. Okay. That's how it should be. You should be able to be like, "Zhoo, zhoo," and then it like closes and be like, "Doo, doo." Maybe someday. Okay, now we're about to get crazy. When my daughter-in-law told me Brian was arrested, my entire body went into shock. And she's not joking. Like, this is not shock, like, oh my, I'm shocked. And then she goes back to normal. I was not able to hold a sip of water while he was in jail the entire time. He's not going to and from jail yet. He's in jail. He's not on house arrest. He's just in jail. She has not even drank a sip of water. I ended up, oh, Yuri, you want to ask some questions to this person? I ended up needing to see a psychiatrist, Dr. Donna B. Greenberg. Oh, where? At MGH. Of course, we only go to MGH. We are loyal. This family, if nothing else, is loyal to MGH. I need you to understand how rare this is. Like, my PCP is at like Newton Wellesley, and then my dentist is over here, and then my surgeon's over here, my da-da-da is over. Not them. They are loyal to MGH till the end. Watching my grandson constantly asking and looking for his father was unbearable. Thomas was 22 months when his father was arrested. He regressed where his vocabulary was concerned, and he was visibly anxious when his father was out of his sight. Really? The same kid who told you his mother got into a taxi in the morning and she had a 2-foot-long suitcase, and my mom repaired my iPad before she left? Huh. Crazy. I got to get Carter to that speech therapist because we have been trying everything and he is just not making the same growth that Thomas made. My mother would always tell me every page of the book I read was another door of heaven that would open up to me. It was expected of me to get perfect scores on all of my exams. Now we're just trauma dumping. One late night, as I was studying, I asked God for the perfect score. My mother heard me and said that I was going to get the perfect score on my own. If I was going to ask God for anything, it should be something I could not manage on my own, something big. And to ensure God would grant my prayers, I must pray for others as well. Your Honor, heeding my mother's advice, I beg and plead for your compassion and mercy for my son and for all those who come to your court looking for mercy as you see fit. Respectfully, Diana Walshe. Dun dun dun. Now it won't close. Wait, now I literally didn't have the close button. Thoughts. If nothing else, that letter to me is like, wouldn't hurt to have looked it up. Wouldn't have hurt it. It wouldn't have hurt. Sorry, guys. It wouldn't have hurt for somebody to be like, hey, is there any record of like anything that this family's done so far? No? Yeah? Oh, this woman who loves her son more than every single thing on the planet seems to really, really not like her daughter-in-law. Maybe we should ask her some questions. Maybe we'll just ask. Like, no harm. Like, there's no harm in asking, right? It's not a crime to be like, hey, when did you have cataract surgery? Do you have any records of that? Where were you on New Year's Eve? When did your son bring you home from New Year's, even though you were already not at his house? When did he like visit you in the hospital? At least they pinned it on the boy this time. Wait. Yeah. Ashley De Laurentiis sent $9.99 and said, "Happy birthday, Emily, from one autism mama to another. Ironically, my son's name is also Carter." Like, this is what I mean by, like, there's something about this community where it's like, we just, like, get each other. Like, that, I mean, Carter's the best name, if I must say so myself. My criteria for us picking a name was, I don't like nicknames. Like, I like saying people's nicknames. I did as a teacher. It was, I would like start the school year every year, and anytime I had like long names that I wasn't sure if they were gonna have a nickname, I couldn't make their name tags yet. And for some reason, that always like drove me so crazy. I was like, I want a name for my son that is just his name. Like, there's not another nickname. And that was my only criteria. And then Jake said Carter, and I was like, yeah, that's his name. I also liked the name Jordan, and I got overruled, but I like Carter better now. No offense to any of the Jordans out there. Oh, Yellow Led Bettero said, "I said it to you yesterday, and I will say it again. Mom pushed her down the basement steps, and yes, Brian did panic." And something that Kim didn't say here that she was talking about yesterday was, if the mom, okay, so this is all hypothetical, blah, 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 no, blah, blah, blah. If mom was the one, if Diana was the one that did this, the money would dry up, right? Like, she is the money. Wait, who just said my name is Jordan, no offense taken. It's just I like Carter more. I really did like the name Jordan though. Okay, so let's say it was mom. Then she has to pay for all of her legal troubles, and she doesn't get to be like indigent, is that the word? The way that Brian got to and get Larry Tipton for free. She would have to pay for her attorney. It would bleed all of the money dry, and there would be no money left for the kids, for the Brian. And we know this man loves money. Like, if nothing else, that man really loves money. And so it's like the combination of like, we have an idea, I'll take the fall, combined with Mass State Police that don't know how to do anything, and it's a recipe for disaster. I made a video earlier that I want to share with you guys, and then while it's on, I'll decide if I want to show you the letter that Anna wrote for this now or later. It's 8 right now. You can also let me know what you want. I have to send this to myself. Anna wrote a letter at the same time that Diana did, and I do feel like it's a very interesting comparison to see. There were some moments during the trial where they talked about how like Anna and Brian loved each other so much, and I was kind of like, are we really doing this? And it really does seem like they really loved each other that much, from her letter. So I'm gonna play this. And then I'll decide if I want to do that now. Nothing but the truth, so help you God? I do. Do you see where it references slay, dominant, scarlet, straps, Cecilia? Cheating wife seduces another man to impregnate her. Scarlet scandal, Seth Gamble, erotica, Pornhub. Do you have any idea how that video came about? Like, how it was filmed? And let me ask you this. As part of your investigation, did you watch that movie? No, I did not. Tell my wife I did not. I bet Michael Proctor did. And you don't know how long that person viewed that movie for, do you? Actually, I do. It was 7 minutes. You know how long the movie was? Longer than that. Well, then the person must not have liked that movie very much, because why else would you only watch 7 minutes of a much longer movie? Well, then they went to the Chatterbait Miss B video. And in that movie, do you also see an actress named Scarlett? Yes, I do see that, Scarlett. Well, then can't you see that the person who's accessing these movies is just trying to find the work of their favorite actress? Favorite
actress? Quite frankly, isn't it fair to say that when you open up a website like Pornhub, there are all different selections you can choose from? Oh no, I'm not a peruser of Pornhub. Liar.
Okay. Let's do Anna's letter another time so that I can go eat dinner. But I kind of want to just show you like one. Let's read like one line from hers just for the, because I feel like, wow, this is like fresh. Okay. Wait. Oh, so that's so funny. What is love, baby? Don't chop me. Jess, you're the best. Okay. Anna's letter. Should we do that? Should I save this for tomorrow? I've never done 3 days in a row. That would like literally be crazy. But I kind of like that idea in my hotel room, in my undisclosed location. Let's do that. Should we do that? I need people to like make decisions for me. I'm not very good at this. When I have just the this is the other thing like KY Heather and I were talking about. It's like when you have the like freedom, then oh, it is my birthday tomorrow. Let's do that. I'll save Honest Letter and we'll do it on my birthday at some point. Yeah, let's do a little preview. Okay. Maybe we'll just do it now. We'll see when we get started. Okay. Dear Judge Woodlock, so the same one. Oh, Pat spells it one. Yay. I'm the director of operations for the Mootlu Group. We, of course, need a Gem Mootlu reference immediately, if not sooner. Why not? How do I do this? There we go. I am Brian Walsh's wife and the mother of our 3 sons, Thomas, William, and baby Brian. Brian and I met back in 2008, so now we're in 2021. They met in 2008 when I worked at the Wheatley Hotel in Lenox, Mass. It was love at first sight for me, and I feel the same way about Brian to this day. We tried a long-distance relationship for years until I moved permanently to Boston in 2015. We got engaged and married the same year, and the following year we welcomed our first son, Thomas. When I met Brian, I witnessed his kindness and generosity on many occasions. However, I also saw the level of suffering in his life. He was afraid of relationships for years and did not allow anyone to get close to him, including me. We're going to do this now. Now I'm in. He was clearly in doubt that he could be loved for who he truly was. Brian had been deeply affected by his childhood and relationship with his parents. He was taught to lie and hide. He was told that he was a loser and that his parents should not have had him, that he had no chances of making anything of himself in life, and that he was a lost cause. A deep feeling of shame governed his life. You cannot tell me that his mom wasn't the one that did this. Okay. This trauma has been ever present in Brian's life, brought deep sadness for years, and was the determining factor of how he showed up for himself and others in the past. Not now, though, because now wonderful Anna came into the picture. Shortly after having delivered our second son, William, in October of 2019, I went through the Experiential Emotional Intelligence Leadership Program. They love their freaking MLM leadership programs at Boston Breakthrough Academy. I experienced the transformation firsthand. She's like also trying to get, she's like, and if you sign up today with Gem Mootlu, it will just be $199 for the year and we'll waive the fee. Okay. I feel bad like laughing at any of this because like I feel bad for her. Going through the experience of getting to know himself and what he was made of how his experiences have crafted the person he has become. I had a vision of what he could do with all that awareness for the benefit of himself and others. Oh my God. I didn't even do anything crazy. Come on. I can't tell if this is like good advertising or bad advertising for Boston Breakthrough Academy. Because on the one hand, it really does sound like it was good for him, but also like, is good for him good for everybody? We don't know. Has anybody gone to Boston Breakthrough Academy? That would be crazy. I would love to hear that. Brian has always yearned to be the best version of himself, and this was a true opportunity for self-discovery. During this program, he established what integrity was all about, as well as accountability, responsibility, and clear communication. He learned how important it was to love yourself first and how much more you have to offer the world when so. This was a safe environment where he was able to share and listen to others. He established self-worth and felt truly supported with no judgment. We are now in a full advertisement commercial for Boston Breakthrough Academy. For years, he planned on getting involved with the community work. The Boston Breakthrough community not only supported Brian in his transformation, but also nurtured his passion for contribution and inspired him to introduce his class to an organization called Lovin' Spoonfuls, which he led into raising over $180,000. Somebody should look into that, knowing this man is like, I don't think he was a murderer, but I do think he was a con man. And I don't think that he would just let $180,000 sit there to provide 500,000 meals during the pandemic where food insecurity in the community, in the country had reached record levels. Just saying. Very cute name for a company, though. And not just that. Thanks to these efforts, Lovin' Spoonfuls were able to acquire another truck and improve efficiencies of rescuing food overall. Okay. And this is only one of the organizations and causes he has supported since then. Brian's vision is to be a contribution in any way he can, even with smaller gestures. Blah, blah, blah. He gave somebody water at 7-Eleven or lend a helping hand. Okay, this part's important. Brian is the love of my life partner, best friend, and the father of our 3 children. I don't know why I was like a little surprised to read that, but I felt like because they harped so much on her affair during the trial that I kind of felt like the whole, like they really love it. Like I felt like they were playing it up a lot, but it really does sound like they really did love each other. Like that she could have said anything and clearly the mom did. And I think they really did love each other. I think sometimes like it's not lack of love of why people look for comfort outside of their marriage. The boys love spending time with Brian. When he tells Tom, we haven't heard him referred to as Tom. That's cute. When he tells Tom that he is going to step away and run an errand, Tom immediately asks when he would be back. Tom always says, "Why are you gone for such a long time?" Our middle son, William, immediately starts crying when he sees his father going down the stairs and towards the door. The youngest one, baby Brian, at almost 9 months, now mimics his older brother, William, and cries as well. Our 3 sons are constantly hanging off of Brian's neck. They just can't get enough of him. Brian is very loving, nurturing, and patient with him. I believe all of this. Like that, I mean, he's like a little bit like Matt McCabe vibes where it's just kind of doofy. I get that vibe from him. Like, yeah, this is sad. Being the cook, and clearly he loved cooking. Being the cook of the family, our sons often request Brian's special pasta dish, which they love, or his French toast. Now she talks about her mother. My mother comes to visit us from Serbia once per year. She's diabetic and has very specific dietary requirements. Brian prepares special meals for her, which include a lot of soups and other vegetable dishes, which sounds like what I want for dinner. He does the same for his mother, not for my mother-in-law, for his mother, and supports her with all of her medical bullshit. That's what she really wanted to say. Her medical appointments, groceries, etc. Brian fully supports me with my work. I often have late meetings and late evening commitments, and I work on most weekends as well. Without Brian, I would be forced to quit my job, which I love. No soup for you. Brian has a big heart, and he is impacting everyone around him in ways that will surpass the present moment. He has been a leader in our family and an inspiration to all he comes into contact with. I am in awe of his transformation and so happy to see him living a fulfilled life. Brian has expressed to me on many occasions his regret for his past actions. He said that the pain and sadness that come with the thought of how much hurt he has caused to others in this legal situation is not only overwhelming, but rather unbearable. He is committed to sharing vulnerably how his actions have impacted others and offering support to others to not make the same mistakes. I don't think anybody else is selling fake Warhols to Warhol collectors, honestly. So, like, he could save his focus. Oh my God. Come on. I wasn't even making fun of him. Well, then it ends. In closing, Your Honor, I want to thank you in advance for the decision you are about to make. I wish to acknowledge your wisdom and commitment. Please kindly contact me if I can be of further support. Okay. I'm like more convinced than ever after seeing that it was like 100% his mom. Right? Oh, on his signature? Oh, wait, hold on. Oh, she has a loopy cute signature. Hold on. Why are there so many steps? StreamYard, get your shit together. There we go. I like her signature. I just feel like between the mom being like, oh, I'm Googling. That was a great point, whoever that was that pointed it out. Yeah. Okay, thanks for noticing me. Said, I want to see his mom's Google searches. Alternatively, have we already seen mom's Google searches? Just saying. Do you think maybe we've been looking at mom's Google searches the whole time? Do you think maybe a grown-ass man that has lived in this world for as long as Brian has didn't need that many clarifications about the tools to use? Do you think maybe Brian went to sleep and Anna got up and Brian literally didn't know that was happening and mom was the one that was Googling and mom had to ask all those stupid ass because like those questions are too stupid for a grown man to be doing. Right? Do you think we've been looking at Diana searches the whole time? I think we have. Like, it's just too dumb and almost so dumb that like maybe Brian didn't know mom even made them. Because the dumb thing this whole time has been, why was Brian so eager to turn everything over and without a care in the world? We hear on those recordings like, oh yeah, like no problem, I want to help in any way we can. I do think Brian, I don't think there's a way that they were in the same house and Brian didn't know, but I don't think that he would have turned everything over so eagerly if he had been the one who made those searches. Even if it was on a different device, like he wouldn't be handing things over left and right. But if he was fast asleep and you know the whole thing about how there's like every lie is like a little bit rooted in the truth. And there was like a thing about like Brian went to bed, then he went back down to clean the kitchen, then he like went back up. Like maybe he went back up and went to sleep, and then maybe Anna got up, and then that's when whatever happened. So then he woke up in the morning and the mom was like, this happened. And then was like, I know what to do now. Like mom's been up all night doing research and was like, now I know. We need a hacksaw. We need a this. We need a that. Like all I would need if I was the investigator is Diana's cell phone record. Like, where were you on New Year's? If let's say even Thomas is the most trustworthy, brilliant, knowledgeable 6-year-old of all times. Hey, Thomas, did you see Grandma on New Year's? And she gave him the list. Of course. Brian's writing himself a list to go to Lowe's. She gave him the list. Of course. Colonel Noble, please consider this my job application for the Massachusetts State Police, because I will work on a consulting basis and I will just ask some questions. I will just listen and ask a few questions of just like, hey, have you tried this? Have you checked this? And sometimes it might be wrong. We might go down a rabbit hole. We might be like, oh, I just like got a little nosy. Like I was like, I want to know more about what's happening here. And it had nothing to do with the situation. Colonel Noble, that might happen sometimes, but then you'll just end up with some extra information and you can store that extra information in your system and then it might come up another time. But instead, you have these little dum-dums who just take, like you can just lie to the police officers all the time and they're just like, well, you said. Karen said she hit him, so she did. Oh, Diana said she was Googling, so I believe her. Come on, like this is crazy. Like, and did they not have a moment where like I wonder if the jurors are having this moment when they're deliberating yesterday and tomorrow or Monday, where they're like, something just feels a little teeny bit off. Like it just, like Brian Walsh was a functioning member of society. Like he's not brain dead. And one of the Google searches was like, can the police see your Google searches? Like, he's lived in this world. Of course they can. I could probably see your Google searches if I look over your shoulder. Like, what do you mean? Of course they can. But you know who would Google that? 74-year-old time traveler from the 1400s who ended up here by accident. Like, that is the Google search of an older woman panicking who just Googled a whole bunch of shit and it didn't dawn on her in that moment for some weird reason that they could see her Google searches. Also, just the timing. Like, Brian's been up with the kids. Like, we just heard from all those letters. Like, Brian was up with the kids all the time. He's like dad of the year. You know how tiring that is? I'm exhausted I could fall asleep I could fall asleep right now. He's exhausted. It's New Year's Eve. They were drinking champagne. You know who's not exhausted? The old woman who is upstairs sleeping and then woke up and like keeps kind of odd hours because she's older and also maybe a time traveler from the 1400s. Like, I am so convinced now that at the very least, they needed to ask her a few questions. Good, he got terminated. Like this is new, like not his old, like, oh, you're terminated, but we still pay you kind of thing. Oh, you guys, I feel bad for Aiden. Like, this is what I'm saying. Like, he's just a normal guy. Like, it's like, there's just a lot That's sad. Kyle said, Aiden posted, hey guys, I'm sorry, but I'm not up to do the live show tonight. I'll take over Turtle Club. I could never. Literally could never. I can hardly do this. So, okay. If I do a live tomorrow, this is what we need to like, we're going to get to the bottom of, because there were a bunch of things that came out in the testimony that to me made it sound like Brian's mom was at their house on New Year's Eve, but nobody ever asked directly. And it was kind of like, there's like a breadcrumb over here and a breadcrumb over here. And like, there was something that the, what do you call it? The probation officer. I loved her, by the way. There was something that the probation officer said about him like scheduling. The mom had surgery, which was also now I have questions about, but that he had to like bring the mom home from surgery, but we need to look into this more. I think yes is the answer. This is a good question. So if we're going to go down this road, this is like a very like loophole. Okay, if this was going to happen. So how did Diana overcome Anna physically? Well, let's picture Anna was asleep. It's just all speculation. And had been drinking champagne. Like she was, I believe that they weren't drunk. Like that to me, would be a little weird almost if they were, it was like Jem and them. Or this. This could be the answer too. But I was gonna say she gets up to like go to the bathroom or like, whoa, I don't know what just and mom was kind of like, who was that at our house tonight? Like that kind of thing. Like Diana's like, why did you invite that man? Also, there was another thing that came up during the testimony where, was it during the trial, where they said that at Brian's sentencing, Jem and Anna were holding hands, and Brian wasn't mad at Anna about it, but Diana was like, you two knock that off. Like, don't do that. That's so disrespectful. So if Diana already had a thing about Jem, and then Jem is there on New Year's, and like maybe she was like at the top of the stairs, like a creepy time traveler, ghost of Christmas past, and was like, and then was like, why was he here? And then she just did something stupid. Like, I'm not picturing like, I'm not picturing like a knife, like something like that. Like I'm picturing more like get out of my way, like that kind of thing. I don't know. Maybe not. This is why I don't do theories, because like it's like what Judge Frenier says when she does the reasonable doubt is not free from all doubt, and she's like, because like all of human interactions have some amount of doubt. But yeah, I think the stairs are it's the basement stairs. There's the rug that was missing. There's the bottom stair was broken, right? We need to like go through. See, you love theories. I'm like the opposite. I'm like, I want to know all the things. This is where I get to on a theory. It's like, I want to know all the things that I know for sure. And I want to use those to highlight all the things that feel sketchy. And then like, that's where I want to leave it. Cause then the second I go too far, I'm like, well, that sounds weird. I sound crazy. Yeah, then there's the attic. This is like now we're on I just wish the cops broke the stairs. I thought there was something that Yuri said too that made me think that he broke the attic. Like he said something where he was like kind of like making excuses about like, oh, attics are like old or something. And it made me feel like he broke the attic. Okay, I have gone back and forth on this for so long. So Miss Jessica said the judge was great besides the Google searches. And here's the thing. I agree based on like what I've learned from Melanie about like, and the way that like Peter Tragos has like convinced me that like, if we're going to do it right for everybody, we need to do it right for everybody, whether you're guilty or innocent and da-da-da. But then there is a part of me that's like, I also do want judges, if the Massachusetts State Police are as bad as I think they are, then I want judges who are going to be like, like, I know these police officers are really bad and I want to follow the law, but I also don't want me following the law to get in the way of like a psycho serial killer type person like getting out back into society. I'm not saying that's what Brian Walsh was. I'm just saying in general. And the way that she ruled on the like generally bad guy law, I was kind of like, if I 100% believed that Brian Walsh really was a really bad guy, then I would be rooting for that. But maybe I also am just not brainwashed enough by like Melanie and Peter Trigos yet. Maybe they still have work to do. Because yeah, and I agree with this. You know what I mean? It's like, thanks for noticing me said, we don't want judges replacing their judgment for good police work. I agree with that 1000%. It's more like if I was a Judge Frenier and you're seeing all of these cases over and over again, you're kind of like, these police officers are so stupid and they can't do anything right and they can't just go. It will take you 5 minutes and go get a search warrant. You couldn't do that. And now I'm going to like let this guy go that you're saying 100% Googled these things. If people don't follow the law, lay people shouldn't either. Oh, I just to be clear, I'm also not like advocating for like this is the system as it should be. I'm more putting myself like, and maybe I just am a Judge Frenier stan now, and I'm just like making excuses for her because I think the point is I do agree that that was not the right call in terms of the law, but I can kind of understand her as like a smart-brained person dealing with all of these police officers who are not. I can kind of picture her being like, at a certain point, I need to like make sure that I'm not like letting somebody go that the evidence is looking like they Googled all these crazy things. Also, Judge Vernier, the good news is there's still time to check out Diana. I'm like, I convinced myself. I think that's everything. I think I need to go eat some dinner now. You guys, this was really fun. I'm like maybe I need to be sitting down. Maybe sitting down is going to make a difference for me at home. I think I feel more comfortable sitting. Because this was really fun and I feel like connected to you guys a lot. And now I do need to go eat dinner. I'm just going to go to the hotel restaurant in my undisclosed location. You guys are seriously the best. I'm kind of bummed there's not an Agent show tonight. I like really look forward to those. What are we going to watch? Everybody watch The Good Place if you have nothing else to watch. I love you all very much. I hope you have a great, great night. And thank you so much. I'm going to be 40. That's cool. A whole new decade. Okay. Good night, everyone.
John Keefe was 46 years old. Psst, Peg, time to cry, because remember, oopsies, you thought he was 45. John Keefe was not a buffalo on the prairie. When I was a kid, I used to throw boulders off of bridges. Ah, what a thrill. The dater is the dater. And tonight, I'm going on a dater with Shannon Welcher. We have no idea how the collision happened, but if you have any doubts left, remember this. My best friend, Jen McCabe, said Bella's mom. Of course Karen hit him. Speaking of Jen McCabe, she's a soccer mom. She doesn't use Signal like Arca. She keeps everything right out in the open, like how long until John dies in the cold. Didn't need Michael Proctor. Tully is our Uber driver now. As the trial ends, we remember Barrows lied not, Kelly Dever. I know our times changed to whatever, but cops can't solve crime in bad weather.